V-dub.
V-dub, you want to do V-dub next?
V-dub. What? Were you ready? Yeah, let's do V-dub.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, let's do V-dub.
So yeah, moving on to V-dub. So in a previous episode we talked about Power Day. So V-dub was gonna announce something called an event called Power Day, and we were kind of saying it was something that they hadn't really told us what it was going to be about. It seemed to be more about batteries, less about a car, but certainly more of a V-dub's accelerate ideal that they're going to change the company and really all of their holdings of different auto companies towards EV or electrification. So we knew it had something to do with that, and we were kind of comparing it to Tesla's Power Day or Tesla's Battery Day. But anyway, Monday was V-dub's Power Day, and basically, the article Auto Week was exactly kind of as we suspected. It's not so much like what cars are going to come out that are electric, but it's more about literally like the batteries, their strategy on how they're going to go with batteries, and also factories. So basically, V-dub is saying, okay, we want to electrify our fleet, and not just V-dub's fleet, but fleets like Porsche, Seats, some of their other holdings, Skoda and whatnot.
Everybody in the house,
and yeah, everything in their holding, their group holding, really for that. And they also want to hold the infrastructure for the supply, right? Because one thing they're saying, and a lot of the companies that are going to go electric realized, okay, we're going to make our cars battery powered. Fine. How are we going to source these batteries? V-dub has decided they're going to make their own batteries in multiple factories. They've announced 6 GigaFactories. They're calling them GigaFactories. I know it's the same. I get it.
Yeah, throw it right at Tesla's feet. Why don't you?
6 GigaFactories. First to go into Sweden and Germany, and with the idea they're going to make their own batteries. So going through this article and talking about watching the video, you'll see that one of what things that V-dub is doing, want to make kind of a more unified platform that they can use in multiple cars, trucks, whatever they end up making. Now, if you're familiar with battery technology, you may remember going with like the sled version, right?
Right.
So there'd be like this bottom platform where there's like the battery, and then like some of the suspension in the front with the wheels, and then back wheels as well. And it was like just the very bottom of the car with the motors and the wheels, and that was like the sled. And then companies would put different tops on it, and that was. V-dub's not saying they're doing that. They're saying really that the battery itself will be in any of their. And then also there'll be, let's say 80% of them, as they're initially talking about, will unified battery technology, and then maybe 20% of them will be more of a high performance kind of pack for let's say, like stuff.
If that means if they don't try to use the same Taycan switch and bait for like the Audi like they've already done. But look, it's interesting to see that they're going to at least try to make different batteries for all the models. Excuse me, a unified battery for all the models.
Yes,
and that's a good thing to say.
We also speculated in our previous chat about this. We did some digging and found that V-dub had some holdings in a company that was doing a lot of research in solid state, and that actually did come up in the Power Day as well. That they didn't like lay out where they're going with that, but it was mentioned that they still are working on solid state. That's their kind of like later plans for the whole Accelerate program for making electrification, and that's still on the table.
Sure. But man,
I gotta say, let me try to find it too, where it says exactly the dates for you guys.
So, and look, to add to that, this is not the only manufacturer that is looking at almost a pure EV future. Mini has just announced that they're going pure EV. There's a few others. I think Lucid is almost on the cusp. They've been around as the next Tesla engineer that has been heading up Lucid. They're on their cusp of releasing their car late 2021, which is supposed to be even better than anything Tesla has under their house. So, look, to see a major manufacturer now commit to this electrical plan almost completely is fantastic. I have a really big question, though.
2023, by the way.
2023.
Battery.
All right.
And that seems like that'll be that first, not the solid.
Gotcha. Big question. Big question is, I've been reading articles recently, and what people are saying is that this is great that we're all going to move into this electric future. However, if there's a saturation of electric cars in the next 15 years in the average homes, can we get the power grid up to speed enough that at nighttime, when all these cars are drawing the electricity that they need to charge, that we've got the necessary power in the infrastructure to supply that type of future? Because if anything lends itself towards a part of this discussion is, look at what just recently happened in all of Texas during an extreme cold spell, and looks what happens in places like California and sometimes even New York, Chicago during heat waves, right?
Yep.
Drawing power. So I'm wondering how staggered all of these introductions of electrical, batteries and things are going to take place and how it's going to fit into our larger scale infrastructure with electricity.
Yeah, they didn't. So Volkswagen didn't talk much about that. To go on to like talking about charging the cars. One other thing in this Power Day, just so you guys talked about their plans to implement many thousands of charging sites across Europe. They are already starting to work on it, but they also mentioned in the U.S. as well through a company they already own in the U.S. I can't remember the name of it right off the top of my head, but what I was talking to Mike about was, okay, how is this actually going to be implemented like into the grid, like at the physical location where you say you buy a VW and like 5 years from now and it wants to,
Mm-hmm.
and they have put these charging stations in, right? Are they going to be universal plugs in the sense that does is part of VW's business proposal charging station
Mm-hmm.
intended that only those charging stations VW products,
Right.
Skoda and whatever, right?
Or are they be
That,
universal?
or are they going to be something that anybody with like some EV chargers that are exist in multiple countries?
Well, because
I don't
Tesla,
know because that's what we were gonna say was
yeah,
Tesla
Tesla
has
does
Tesla
that
chargers,
automatically. Yeah.
and it works great for Tesla cars because you only have to compete with Tesla cars at the
Mm-hmm.
charger. But then again, the Teslas. I mean, part of that, as far as Tesla's concerned, you guys aren't aware. Roll up to a Tesla charger with your Tesla and plug in and charge. You still pay for that. It's not totally free, depending on. Might be free if you had a grandfather. Anyway, the if it's not, you still have to pay for it, but you don't pay for it like there at all. You just
Yeah.
plug in, charge, and leave because the charger recognizes the car,
And automatically
and your
charges you.
car has an account online with Tesla already.
So,
And
but
your
Tesla,
card on file just gets.
quick question for you though. How
So-
long? How long when you purchased your car, your Tesla Model 3? How long did they give you free charging for?
So you only got when I purchased my car, you only got free charging for the life of a Model S. Bought a
Okay.
Model 3, I never got free charging. You wouldn't get normally free charging. I had a referral, so I got free charging for a while, and it was a promotion, so I get free charging. That again, free charging for lifetime was for the original owner of a
Mm-hmm.
car. There's
I,
more.
I only say
That's
this though. I only say this in relationship because the VW ID4 allows you. I think if you're one of the first people to get one of the early adapter, model blah blah blah, I believe you get a full 3 years of charging.
Okay.
And some of the
like
places,
unlimited charging.
yeah, and I think the difference is I think where you're going to see people making inroads against the dominance of Tesla, because let's face it, right now, Tesla's dominant. That goes without fact, right?
Best
They're doing very well, and so when a challenger comes along, they're going to have something that's Tesla-esque, which obviously VW is almost patterning their plans completely after Tesla. But secondarily, that's what they're doing, the GigaFactories and whatnot. But the secondary part of that is that as they're doing it, they're going to have to do something that gives them one-upmanship, because right now the Taycan is equal if not on par, but it's a one-off, very exclusive vehicle. Their ID4s are going to fill in the VW line and so on and so forth. So they're slowly filling in their line. But they're also going to have to put in that catch to make them better than Tesla, which is
something that what can you get at VW, product of VW? Why
Sure.
would you choose a VW? Let's say if the prices were the same,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because competition will drive prices and drive competition on the market. So you could surmise at some point they're going to be equally priced.
Yeah.
Right.
I would think.
Especially with the different offerings, different classes of offerings. Like the Model 3 is not the same.
Interesting.
So yeah, I don't know, man. I mean,
I'd love to hear what other people think.
yeah, maybe one thing before I kind of that is to say another thing to maybe read between the lines with when they say they're going to build factories, they're talking about securing the supply line.
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah,
Because we already are seeing and seeing that there's competition for like lithium.
Sure.
So lithium goes in the current, a lot of the current batteries that people, and there's only so much to go around, right? It's got to be mined out, and you get factories. So the fact that VW
Sounds
is
very
making
similar to oil.
factories, yeah, the fact that VW is making factories, they mentioned in their Power Day that they gonna be working on the supply chain, right?
Mhm.
And again for multiple brands. So it's one thing to see where the knock-on effect goes with any other brands, not just Tesla, but anybody else that decides they want to I mean, I'm talking like Panasonic and other places that make batteries that you make.
Jobby.
Other than
Job. How
like
about
Tesla's
any
got their own
EV
factories,
toll?
fine, but like anybody else who needs a battery.
Yeah, but you have to remember that means any other EV toll is going to be in the market for the same batteries. So anyone that's right now in the electric market that's going to be competing in the same space as Tesla or wants to make things fly or wants access to these batteries, they're all in the same competition.
Yeah, and I mean, I've seen, we can talk about this
Mm-hmm.
different battery chemistries coming that people are working on, and we're not talking about
Solid
solid state,
state.
but that's in there, but other like chemicals in because of scarcity supply. So
Mm-hmm.
I think it needs to be seen where the other big players, not Dub, of course,
Mm-hmm.
and Panasonic for that matter, other big battery suppliers, but where their chemistry goes.
You know what that you say chemistry, and it's really funny because I remember, wasn't there a company a couple of years ago that tried to make a battery cell, and it was literally a battery cell that you took butane, put butane into the battery cell, and it burned a little butane flame, and it converted that to electricity to give you like the same thing as a 10,000 milliamp battery. And you know, it's kind of interesting.
Recall something.
Yeah,
I don't know if how exactly. I can't remember it. Something about it, but nothing. I mean, obviously, converting one energy possible. How much energy you get, and
it was
over the
Nectar.
process.
That's who it was. Okay, this is the company. It was Nectar, right? And they were using the same style thing where basically they were going to use what you're talking about, but it was going to use butane as a fuel to make a heat, some sort of heat interaction that would then charge a battery.
Okay.
And it was a solid oxide fuel cell that basically used that heat to go ahead and recharge itself. And I remember that it was out there because it only just came to mind because I was like, I wonder what new technologies we're going to see that might pop up, or even old reusable technologies that people have tried before, but might be more applicable on a larger scale to make some of these things happen.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking.
What's up, James?
Also, we mentioned different jet fuels.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
There was
yeah.
that catalysts.
Right.
There was a catalyst to let's fly, but then capture some certain chemicals to convert it back into a burnable fuel.
Something like that.
We're way in the energy sector here.
Hey, it's part of the discussion.
But there you go. So I think it's going to be interesting. And really, the next 5 years or less, 4 years probably, possibly 2 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
VW will have a different.
Yeah. Cool. Hey, remember, folks, like, subscribe, follow, and if there's something that you think we got right or wrong in the discussion, hey, do us a favor, leave a comment below. And as always, there is the link to our articles in the description. So don't remember to hit on that if you guys have any questions. With that said,